Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's been a little brief vacation. Well, I wouldn't call it a vacation, but we're back. Welcome to Boob Tube. But of course, it's just not Boob Tube without my beautiful co hosts, Casey Carter and Desiree, Desirable Bottom. Hey, ladies. Hey,
Hey
ladies.
ho.
Woohoo.
So okay, I just want to acknowledge the fact that we were not on the right scene at the beginning of the show because
Oops.
we were busy running our mouths. We talk about this all the time. When we are in our pre-show phase, we have deep and meaningful conversation, and oftentimes forget we're about to do a show. So I
Guess what? Bloopers are the best.
listen, that is the shit right there. So yeah. All right. Hey
Yeah, all
Casey.
right. Hey, Jason. Hey, Zany. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so we were talking about
Welcome.
just to kind of give a little brief. And I told Casey we need to talk about this more extensively on her show, Casey at Night,
Mm-hmm.
which is before Boob
Boob
Tube.
tube.
But I was telling her that I'm going through um, a lot of menopausal symptoms, such as brain fog and emotional roller coaster, where one minute I'm inspired and motivated, and doing all these productive things. And then I go to take a bath and come out, and all of a sudden I'm emotional and irritable and like it's just there's no warning, nothing specifically sets it off, but we were just sharing how it's something that women need to talk about more often, especially since menopause doesn't look the same for any two people. It's different for everyone. And so I think it's definitely hello, Papa D and Christopher Gagliardi. I think it's real
Hey.
important that we talk about it
Yeah.
because your girl's been struggling.
And again, like Carrie said, it's not the same. We all know what the broad description of that moment in life is, but we don't talk about it as much as we should because a lot of us don't fit into that big ass box. Like I was literally sharing with Carrie, my experience was so fast. I didn't even have time to realize it was happening. No clue, no clue. You
You
know,
didn't even know it was happening.
I
Someone had
did.
to tell you.
Someone had to tell me. I was telling Carrie and Desiree. I was standing during COVID. I was standing in my parents' kitchen. It was me, my mom, my sister. We were all talking, and I just started to break out into a sweat and didn't even seem phased. And we was talking. And mom is like, "Are you having a hot flash?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm hot." And she's like, "Okay, but I think you're having a hot flash." I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. It's just a little hot." And she's like, "Yeah, you're having a hot flash." And I was like, "Oh, really? Is that what that is?" And the crazy thing is, it wouldn't last very long. Like the whole length of the conversation was the length of the hot flash. By the time I acknowledged it was happening, it was no longer happening. So, yeah, it it's a crazy thing, and I'll even admit to you all now, I told the ladies that I thought I was even going through depression during that time period because, as Carrie said, your emotions don't quite make sense. So, yeah, it's now that, we are women of a certain age, uh we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it because the women that were a certain age who raised us didn't talk about it.
I
So,
don't think they really knew what was happening. I think menopause is more of a recent, I don't want to say a recent discovery, but I mean, let's just talk about like at the beginning of the 1900s, right? People thought that you could cure hysteria with masturbation. So when we talk about female anatomy and the body and all of the things that we go through, I think they've spent so much time on reproduction because that's what's necessary to keep humanity alive that they didn't talk about when those organs shut down and your body starts to remove itself from baby making phases. And so they're like, oh, no research is necessary. You just deal with it. But that's, we need to talk about it because you could be dealing with someone. In fact, I saw a TikTok today where the girl is like in her late 20s, early 30s, and she said, "Your mom's going through menopause. Your mom's going through stuff, so don't be a pain in the butt. Your mom's going through menopause." And I was like, "Someone send this to my daughter, please."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, but I know y'all didn't come here to hear us talk about menopause, but
You sure did
I
not.
I bet you know somebody who was of a certain age going through some shit. And
Yes.
so it's good to have the knowledge, and to be able to have some level of understanding, even if you don't know enough to be able to talk clinically about it. The knowledge will at least give you some level of empathy, so that when you're talking to your mom and she all of a sudden breaks out into a sweat, or she all of a sudden starts doing this where she's just fanning herself randomly, and you're like, it's not that hot. You'll have a sense of understanding, because when I tell you, when you have a hot flash, it is okay. So if you if you grew up in a church that believes in the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues and all of that, they use this phrase called, it's like fire shot up in your bones. That's a hot flash. That's a hot flash. It is like fire raging in your body.
I have a better one for you. Imagine you were in the pool at the gym and it's cool, refreshing, you're loving it, and someone says, "Go into the sauna." And you're like, "Okay, I can go into the sauna." So you go into the sauna, and for the first minute or so, you're like, "Okay, this is not so bad." But then, very quickly, out of nowhere, it's like someone locked the door, turned it up 100 degrees, and you're stuck in there and you're sweating like bulls and you can't do anything about it. And then 20 minutes later, someone opens the door and says, "Come on out, cool off a little bit," and it's gone. But then you're kind of cold because your body got hot. So I don't know if that explains it for y'all to understand. But hey,
But
Whitney.
that's the perfect example of me saying the unique experiences, because it's that too, right?
Mhm.
It's the fire that just shoots and rages through your body, but it's also the hot, cold, hot that you can't regulate.
Mhm. Make
It's
up your mind.
exactly, it's all those things. And I may only experience one version. Carrie may experience multiple versions. And then you got some folks who may not experience anything. My mother literally did not go through menopause. She didn't have the hot flashes. She didn't have any of
What?
those things. Yeah. And
Wow.
and so
She was lucky.
the doctor said that they think she had a stroke at that
Oh,
age where those things should be going on. And
I'm
they
sorry.
think the
Mm.
stroke, and I'm gonna say this, no disrespect to doctors, but y'all sometimes get to a place where you're like, fuck it, yeah, you had a stroke, you no more menopause. Like that's that that was their explanation for why she seemed to not be going through
Hmm.
these physical changes. And then when they checked her hormones, she was postmenopausal. So it was like,
Wow.
yeah. So it was weird.
How did
It's
that happen?
Yeah.
exactly. But like
I
I said,
mean,
but
I don't wish a stroke on anybody, but okay.
yeah. So anyway, we won't continue, because we could turn this whole hour into the menopause show. We won't do that. We won't
Thank you for joining us for Menopausal Wednesdays.
do
I know.
But I want to jump in real quick because I stumbled across our favorite actress, and I was very surprised to find out that this was a series that took place 10 years ago, but somehow, some way, it kind of fell off the internet and now it's back. But it was called Extant, which is like
CBS.
extinct but extant.
It was on
And I'm
CBS.
like, the first season was good, the second season's whack. But I'm like, how did I not know about this show? And we may have even talked about it on here. It's very
No,
likely that we did. We
we
didn't?
didn't. We didn't. I'm positive we didn't. But it was on CBS. And I
Okay.
watched it when it first came out. I don't like CBS. Um, I watched very few things on CBS, but I watched it because it had my girlfriend, so I watched it, and I never made it past the first season. I don't even know if I finished the whole first season because yeah, but
It it had potential. I can see why it didn't make it. It was way bizarre, but yeah. I I like watching Halle Berry. If for
mm-hmm,
those of you that don't know, we're talking about Halle Berry. Halle Berry, Halle Berry. But
mm-hmm,
so yeah, I just wanted to mention that so extant is extinct, but it's with an A. And the show is about Halle Berry, who's an astronaut, and she's married to kind of like a scientist, and he comes up with this thing called the humanoid or human something, and it's basically a robot that looks like a human.
mm-hmm.
And so she's in space. It starts out she's in space 13 months, comes back, she's pregnant. Now, not only is she pregnant, but okay, she's been gone for 13 months, do the math, by herself in this little space station. And not only is she pregnant after being gone for 13 months, but she couldn't get pregnant prior. Her and her husband tried and tried, and she couldn't get pregnant. And she has a situation that kind of correlates with this, but we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, she ends up having a baby that's half human, half alien,
Oh.
but they extract it from her while she's still pregnant and then makes her believe she was never pregnant to begin with and that she's just crazy from coming back from space.
Oh.
So the series is her, running from these people but still chasing after her alien baby, alien slash human baby.
Yeah.
And the baby has this special power to make you, and this is how she ended up in the situation in the first place, because while she was up in space she had this moment where all of the comms go down and the little space station is offline for a little while, and the alien presents itself as her boyfriend who had died in a car crash, that she was pregnant by his baby and the baby died. The baby and the boyfriend died in the car crash, and so she's seeing this person who she, obviously still has affection for, whatever, and they have this like moment. They don't show anything like how she got pregnant, but they kept that out of it. So you don't really know. It's a little odd. But anyways, that's how that situation happened. Is she's seeing the boyfriend that passed away. And so the baby has the same power to present to you the person as someone that you've lost, and you think that you're having like a full on conversation with them, and blah blah blah. So yeah, it's wild. It's wild. And I'll tell you why I liked it. I liked it because it was so far fetched that it didn't make me think about anything that's really happening right now. You know what I mean? There was no emotional attachment. It was just like, and I mean, come on, who doesn't want to look at Halle Berry? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She could get up there and speak gibberish, and I would watch it because I'm like, it's Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
I might say, I don't know why the hell she did this. She must have needed the money, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'd still watch her. I'd still watch her do a show about gibberish.
Yep.
So,
Hmm.
anyways, I thought I'd bring it up because I was surprised. I was like, this doesn't look like Halle Berry now because she's changed her hair and she's done some different things. And I was like, then I looked at the thing and it said 2015, and I was like, what? 10 years ago? What?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Halle Berry.
extent.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Okay, so um,
What you got for us, Casey? I know
I'm
you got
gonna
something good.
I'm gonna go with Caller Unknown. It was a catfish story. It's on
Ooh.
Netflix. It's about these kids in high school who they met like in middle school, um and were boyfriend and girlfriend, and all of a sudden the girl started getting these random text messages, um saying that her boyfriend was going to break up with her, that this caller text or whatever, that she and he were hooking up, that he wanted blowjobs, he didn't want her skinny flat ass. Just it was a lot. And the person, the caller, knew things that only somebody who was in their social circle would know. So like they'd be sitting in class, and they'd text about stuff that was said or done in class. They'd be at parties with each other and would text about something that was said and done there. Hey, Jay Handy.
Hey Jay, how are you?
Um, and so this went on for over a year. They brought in the local
2
police.
years.
They brought in the FBI. I mean, don't get us kicked off. Um, and the what did it for me? What did it for me is when they finally narrowed down who it was. And
Are you gonna spoil alert?
hell yeah, because I do the spoiler alerts. I don't care. It
I
was
know who
the
it is.
it was the girl's mom.
Mom.
Can you friggin' believe
What?
what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna tell you every nasty, skanky thing this woman said to her own daughter. I can't
Damn.
even.
I am. She
Stay
told
here
her
with me.
daughter to unalive herself.
Yeah, yeah,
This show's gonna this
No.
if you want to watch something and get super pissed off, this is the show
yeah.
for
This
you.
is it. This is it.
This is it. Because
Mm.
When
when you find out it's the mother,
oh, oh, and
and
then what?
all along, it gets even better because all along the mom is like
Trying
consoling
to
the daughter
right and trying
and
to help figure out who's doing this.
like
Mm,
it's one of
mm,
those cases of when someone's kid gets kidnapped and it's the mother or the father and they're up there doing the whole oh I just want someone to bring my yeah that's
Yeah,
this is the same thing
this
except for it's cyberbullying
yes, it was
okay.
and
out
cyber
friggin'
stalking.
outrageous. It was outrageous. And so when they reveal that it's the mom, you find out she got problems. She got problems.
Mm,
They make comment, they reference to the fact that the mom is kind of got an IT background. She's got these two jobs, blah blah blah. But then they discover mom didn't have the two jobs. Um, that mom didn't have the two jobs. She's been lying about everything the whole time. Yeah, and
Damn.
so Jay just mentions that mom was like, no big deal, right? So this is the part that really, 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 really pissed me off. Is mom had nothing but excuses. Mom admits to some part of doing it, but not doing it from the very beginning. And they never said who, so they're like they just like it's got to be mom. And then mom, she's busy, like the police officer tells the daughter in front of the mom that it's your mom, and my mind was blown because the girl was like, she had to have been in stunned disbelief, because the mom is trying to hug her and console her, and the girl is like, sort of eventually leaning into it. I I I still can't wrap my mind around this whole the mom did it. Um
I like
But
that.
what's even worse is that the mom goes to prison and the daughter goes to see her and talks to her every day
Oh
like
wow.
nothing happened.
It's
and
like
then
enabling.
and then afterwards she doesn't see her. The daughter doesn't see the mom, But the daughter does make mention of the fact that, she hopes to be able to see her and get that relationship back. And she's like, I don't know, I guess it's because it's my mom. And I understand that. I get that. I absolutely get
Stockholm.
that. But right, because they even said that what the mother was doing was they believe it to be a form of Munchausen, where normally the parent or the whomever, the caregiver or whoever, will make the person ill so that they're the focus and whatever, and that she just did this to the daughter, and
Hmm.
it was
It's
the
like the
bizarrest thing.
psychology. It's the psychology of like the attention that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gypsy Rose is one that's, real popular. But in this case, it wasn't the medical needs. It was that she was there to, like, she created a problem so she could be the superhero to
And
solve it.
solve it, right?
But
Mhm.
in the midst of creating the problem, you traumatized your child.
Yep. And she didn't seem remorseful, in my opinion, for what she did to her daughter. She didn't really seem remorseful. She seemed more, and not even really upset, but she seemed more focused on the idea that she got caught. But it was also fascinating that when they called her out, she was like, okay, yeah, I did it. I didn't do it at first, but then I did it. And then I couldn't stop. And I'm like, did you just confess that quick, that easy? Like, they didn't have to twist your arm? What? Mm.
Jay, get Jay. But I do, before we go on, I don't want to cut you off, Casey. We
Mm-hmm.
have someone very special in the comments right now.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Someone is watching that hasn't been here for a while, and we got to make sure we give them a big shout out. Alex Miles.
Whoop,
Hey, where's
whoop.
our
Talking about Jay.
applause?
My bad.
Hey, what's up, Alex?
Okay, wait. Put a pause on Alex for a second. Because we have Jay Handy here, let us acknowledge the fact that Exotica won an award at ASN Lifestyle Magazine Awards, where I was the host. And it was, I don't know, probably the third or fourth year in a row where they won for best, I don't know, let's just say it's best convention. I don't freaking know what the category was, but they won. And I it's so ironic that Jay showed up, because I took pictures with our Exotica people who were there. So this is Broadway. If you come to the show, if you know Broadway, you should know who Broadway is, because Broadway's in the background. And then we have
Nice.
we have hold on. I gotta be as strategic as I can about this. So Faith Casey is from Jesus Loves Sex Workers, and she won an award. She won an award and got a Lifetime Achievement Award for her work. Our
Ooh,
MC
nice.
Jordan was there, who accepted on behalf of Exotica. And then we had Luke and Kim, not Luke and Laura Casey, Luke and Kim, who are who
We
are from
talked about that before we came on.
yes, who are from DV8.
Okay, wait
I
one
was gonna say,
second.
wait, what? Well, let me just
In
say
the
they're from.
comments, oh,
Uh-huh.
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say DV8, and they are typically in a booth in the couples X section. Okay, all right. I just had to say that. Okay, go ahead. Hold on a second. I got issues.
Thank you, Shaggy Rack,
Uh
for
oh.
reposting the
Oh,
stream.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So yes, Carrie, say it again now. Say it again.
to say it in the comments if you know where Luke and Laura are from. What? movie, TV show,
Yeah.
or streaming network. Desiree, do you know where Luke and Laura are from?
Nope. I'm like,
I
She's like,
can't
if it
even
ain't a game, I don't know.
I can't even say that it's a age thing because where they're from is, I think it's still available. It went off
It's
for a
still
minute.
on. It still comes on every day.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay. Well,
I'm just
anyway,
interested to know who knows about Luke and Laura. So
you could tell me in the DMs later.
so so
you want me
again,
to slide into your DMs, Desiree?
mm,
You know it.
okay. We're way off the rails.
Sliding
So
in.
okay, so Jay did acknowledge that it was fourth time, fourth time. And here's what's funny, when Jordan was there after the show, Jordan was like, you should have prepped me, you should have warned me, you should have whatever. I'm like, Jordan, when you're not here, me, Luke, and Kim do it. We typically show up and take the award because we're usually here. He's like, yeah, but you should have said something. All right, Jason, buckle up, Buttercup. Look what the screen says. Look what the screen says. Night night.
Good
So
night, Jay.
Good
so
night.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
love when the secret security comes in to check on us, make sure we showed up for work.
And that we're behaving. Mm.
And that we're behaving, making sure we're still live on YouTube.
Ah, yeah. So anywho.
Desiree, what you been watching? I already know what she's gonna say though.
Dexter? Let's talk about Dexter
Hello?
first.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Hello?
talk
Test,
about it.
test.
Surprise,
Dexter
surprise.
Resurrection. Ba-da-da-da.
Yes, talk about it. Are you caught up, Casey?
No, I told you I don't have it. I don't have it.
This is not an excuse for not doing your homework.
All right, well, let me
This
know
is like
whose
being in,
Paramount Plus account, whose Showtime account I can log into. I'll be more than happy to go.
look, this is like
Yeah,
going to college
somebody help Casey out. Come on.
and being required to have to buy a book and then coming into class and saying, I can't do my work because I don't have the book. Anyways, go ahead, Desiree. Tell us about Dexter Resurrection.
Well, yeah, I'll talk about the latest one. So, Prater, which is the Game of Thrones guy, the little person, he met Dexter's son, Harrison. They were at the dinner when they were having dinner. And he was like, oh, Red, because, Dexter is like undercover because he killed the real Red Schmidt and he decided to be like his persona. So now Dexter is technically Red Schmidt. And he went to this serial killer dinner. So he has to portray this guy now. Anyways, Dexter and Harrison were out at this fancy restaurant, making amends or something. And then Prater walks in. He's like, oh, Red, I didn't know you had a son. And then he was like, oh, like Harrison knew who this guy was because he's, with the police and stuff. He's like a recognizable person, you know what I mean? Like he's always in the news and this and that. He's very popular. So Harrison was like, oh, Mr. Prater, like I'm very fond of your work and da 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 da. And oh, what's your name? And Harrison's like, Harrison. And then he goes, oh, okay. And then so everything ends up getting unraveled. They end up figuring out that Harrison and Red Schmidt don't have the same not username, but last name. So he's like, why don't you have the same last name as your dad? So then he ends up telling him, like, what's Uma Thurman's character, Charlie, she ends up like going to Harrison's workplace and rents a room and is like, I want him to come and deliver my stuff for me. She ends up like, boom, interrogating him, like, why isn't your name the same? Blah, 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 blah. Where's your dad live? And all this, like everything. She's just drilling him. And he's like, well, I took my mom's last name. He left us when we were young, and we've had a rocky relationship ever since, and this and that, and this and that. So then he calls his dad, spills the beans, tell his dad everything, and his dad's like, okay, like, what did you tell her? And then he said, okay, we'll just keep everything under wraps. He goes to talk to the Blessing, which is the other rideshare guy who like got Dexter into the whole ride sharing in New York. And he's like, Blessing, I need a favor for you. Like, they had a little falling out because Dexter opened his mouth to Blessing's daughter about his past, and he told Blessing told Dexter his past in confidence. So he thought he was going to keep that like between them two. He ended up doing acupuncture with the daughter because the daughter was going for school for that. She needed somebody to practice on. So he in the heat of the moment he was all relaxed, and it's like, whoops, it just slipped out. So anyways,
But
then
don't forget to say
he,
what the secret was. The dad, Blessings, was in the military or something in Africa, or for wherever his home country was, and he had to kill somebody. And
yes,
Dexter shared this with the daughter, and thought that it would bring them closer together, and in fact it made her upset that the dad confided in Dexter and not her. And then the dad was mad, Blessings was mad because he shared information in confidence. So
right.
hey,
So
Scotty.
yeah, so then Batista was still like trying to pin Dexter being the Bay Harbor Butcher. So he was trying to do all this stuff. He ends up uh figuring out what, like, he drops AirPods or whatever the pod things are in Dexter's car so he can like track Dexter's moves and see where he's at and stuff. He talks to like the NYPD. They're like, you're a freaking crazy lunatic, get out of here. They don't really believe what he's saying. He's like, no, I'm telling you, Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher and blah, 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 blah. But they're like, where's the proof? So, and then in confidence as well, they think Batista, like, because he still has his shield, they think he's like active duty, I guess. But lo and behold, he's not. Like, he was retired and this and that. So then he ends up like almost catching Dexter in the kill. So he was gonna kill another guy in Prater's club, like Al, I think his name was, like the ponytail guy. So this guy had like a sick fetish killing women with ponytails. He would like, they would be running, running in the park, going for a jog, and if your hair was up in a ponytail, he would be like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. So this guy's like riding his bicycle. He's like showing them how he killed these people. So he's like riding his bicycle. He's like, on your left. The lady like moves over. She's like, oh, hi. Then he like goes over. He does like a fake accident. He like throws his bike over and is like, oh, my knee. Then the lady comes and he like pushes her down like with brute force, and he like almost kills her, or like kills her or whatever. And then he like chops their ponytails off and kills them. Yeah, it's weird. So he made the people like at this serial killer meeting place at Prater's watch that. Like, they all did. They all had to do like a show and tell kind of thing for Prater because he got off on that. He
Wow.
was, it was like really sick. So, and then at the end, Batista gets caught up in this because he almost catches Dexter. Prater ends up like catching him, like catching Batista somehow. And then at the end, it's like bum bum bum. I'm gonna do it. Spoiler alert 2. Batista dies.
Damn.
That's the
But you
spoiler
gotta tell
alert.
him how. So what
You
happens
do it.
is,
You do it. You tell
I'll
them.
tell you. Don't worry. I'm telling all the biz today. So Batista follows Dexter to Prater's house. And then when they get there, Prater and Charlie are exposing to Dexter that they know that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher. And so he's like, oh, now we know who you really are, blah, blah, blah. And then Batista comes in, and Batista's like, you know, trying to go after Dexter because he wants to capture him. And then in the midst of all of this, Prater had the gun because Charlie's ready to take Dexter out because she's done with Dexter. She never liked Dexter from the beginning. And then
It's a wrap.
Desiree missed a really important part. You forgot to tell him Dexter catches Charlie buying flowers for her mother. So we know that the
Oh yeah.
mother is in her care, and
Mm-hmm.
she has her room set up like a hospital room and has a nurse taking care of her. So she stops to get flowers, and when she gets back into the car, he's pissed off about her pulling up on Harrison and interrogating Harrison with a gun on the table, yada yada yada. So he takes the cord because this is before he knows that they know that he's the Bay Harbor butcher. So he's still doing the whole Red Schmidt thing. So he puts the cord around her neck and he's like, you know, why would you do, like, don't do this to my son, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. And he says to her, I know about your mother. I know that she's in your care. And he doesn't tell her until the end that the mom is still alive. So while he's telling her all these things, he's letting her believe that he's already taken out the mom, but he didn't touch the
Right.
mom. He just saw her. But now he's letting Charlie know, like, the gig is up. You have some, excuse me. And she says to him, you have something, your weakness is your son. My weakness is my mom. Cause he's asking her, like, why do you do this for Prater? When she's like, I,
It's
I,
for
I go and
taking
I
care
look
of
for
the
all you
mom,
sick
but it's for the
fuckos. Yeah. She was like, I go and hunt you down for this sick fucko club. And so he's like, why do you do it? And she's like, Prater finds out what your weaknesses are. And then he um manipulates it and exploits it and gets you to do things for him so that you know he doesn't expose you, or in her case he's been taking care of the mom and she's lived an extra 8 years because of his money being donated to her extensive medical care, yada yada yada. So that happens, and when they get back to the museum of serial killers where Prater holds all of the trophies of the
yeah.
serial killers. And remember, we said a couple episodes ago when Dexter first got there and they did the tour of the museum of all the trophies, he saw his slides as the Bay Harbor butcher and is having like this moment of where he can't say anything because, he's there as someone else, a different serial killer, but he sees his slides and he's like, kind of fascinated that he's reunited with his infamous slides that he used to hide in the air conditioner in the original Dexter series.
Yeah.
So they're down here in this museum. Charlie's got the gun out because she's pissed off that Dexter, slit her neck. She had a little cut from the wire around her neck, and that he's full of shit and never was who he said he was, blah blah blah. Prater is fascinated because now he's up the ladder as a better serial killer because the Bay Harbor butcher, infamous. Nobody, everyone thought it was someone else. So he's fascinated, like, oh my God, you let somebody else take the fall. And so he's like, more like, so when Batista comes in, Prater's got him on the table and he's like, show us how you do it, Bay Harbor butcher. And, Dexter has a little, Batista was his friend. So Dexter's like, I don't want to do that. So he acts like he's going to do it with the knife because Prater gave him the knife, and he slits the things that are holding Batista to the table. And instead of Batista being like, "Oh, thank you, Dexter, for letting me go instead of killing me," he goes after Dexter because he's like, "You're the Bay Harbor butcher."
Yeah.
And so
His pride
in the
got in
midst,
the way, I think.
yeah, he was
Yep.
so obsessed with him, like exposing him as the Bay Harbor butcher, that he didn't take the opportunity to get off the table and escape. That Prater ended up shooting him because he went to go kill Dexter, or was like fighting with Dexter, and Prater shot him, Batista, to keep him from killing Dexter because Prater has a hard on for serial killer, so he's going to protect the serial killer. So Charlie and Prater end up dipping out. They get away, and Dexter has this one last moment with Batista where he's like, "I didn't kill Maria, and I didn't kill Dokes." And Batista
Ooh.
says to him, "But they died because of you. Fuck
Mm.
off," and dies. Last words. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool, actually. I was like, damn, that's the way to go out. And that's how it ends. And it's literally Dexter. You're
Cliffhanger.
seeing Dexter have an emotion that we haven't. Yeah, we've never really seen him except for when his
Emotion.
sister died, but we've never really seen him have empathy in the
That's right.
midst of someone losing their life. And we saw it. And now I'm sure the next
We
season
gotta
is
wait
gonna
and
be,
see.
yeah,
Because I heard this
maybe.
is like the season finale or something, right? There's only one more episode, I heard. So
Yeah. Now you don't
We'll
even need
see.
to watch it, Casey. We just gave you the full breakdown, like
gave you
dead
the
ass.
tea, girl. We got
I
your
was gonna say
back.
eventually I'm a find it somehow if I have to go to my parents' house and watch it. I'll
It's really good. It is really good. I am amazed at how I did not think that the writers of Dexter, after the way that the first season, I mean the first series ended, I did not think that they could ever come back and redeem themselves. They redeemed themselves with Dexter Next Kill or what next whatever. They redeemed themselves with the prelude to how Dexter became the killer. And then now with Resurrection, whoever is in charge of doing Dexter needs to stay on board because this took things to a place I'd never anticipated. And that's kind of what happened with the one where Dexter, the next kill. Like they're doing a great job.
The one thing I will say is the series that have what's his name, C. Michael Hall or whatever his name is. Like the ones that have him are the better of the series. The one that didn't have him, the where it was, how he got.
Original Sin. That
Yeah,
one?
it was
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
but it didn't have the same energy as the ones with C. Michael Hall or whatever his name
No,
is.
but he did do the
Michael
voiceover.
You got it,
Yeah,
Casey.
but it's not the same. Him not being on the screen, I think
Yeah.
makes a difference in how the show played out. Because I watched some of those. I think I watched all of them. I don't recall, but it just wasn't the same vibe. I watched it because I wanted to see how they were going to tell this story. I wanted to see Dexter and how he got onto the police force and all of that, and it just wasn't. The story was good, but the energy was not the same as the ones with Dexter.
I think, but to be honest with you, I don't I think they did that intentionally because they weren't trying to make that a series to continue. They didn't want to fill in the gap all the way. They just wanted to provide some context to the beginning story of Dexter and his sister Deb and the dad, and give you, I guess, a little bit more context on their relationship and how it affected the father because we end up finding out that the father took his own life. And so I think that's really what Original Sin was just to give us some sort of context. And I think they did a good job on getting the actors, but I don't think it was intended to really draw us in completely. I think it was just more of like, here's some filler until Resurrection comes out and to give us, the backstory so that Resurrection for me definitely I like seeing that the dad is back and I like seeing that Dexter is trying to pursue a relationship with his son on the son's terms, and he's there to help, even though So, but I feel I understand what you mean about the energy because it definitely was different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's an
I,
amazing actor. In fact, I started watching 6 Feet Under
Yeah, I started rewatching.
again
Hmm.
and was like,
Yeah,
oh, and the lady that played the mom is
yeah.
the lady that was on American Horror Story, the redheaded lady in The Witches, and I think she played in another one. But anyways, yeah, so he's an amazing actor. I love him.
Hmm.
Maybe he could be our Sam. What's that guy's name? Sam? Jason? Sam?
Him.
The guy with the mustache.
Yep, Sam.
Him.
Sam. Hmm.
Sam Elliott?
Anyways,
Yeah.
Sam Elliott. Thank Desiree. Look at you.
Yep, him.
I'll take Sam Elliott for 1,000, Desiree. All right.
We got you.
What else do you have for us, Casey?
I'm gonna save Wednesday for next week. So I've got
Me
the
too. I was going to talk about it if you want.
no, we're gonna say because it's
Okay.
almost time to come off. So I
Okay.
got
Okay.
Thursday Murder Club, excuse me, which is on Netflix. It stars Pierce Brosnan, oh my god, Ben Kingsley, and oh, why am I drawing a blank on her name? Very hot to trot, British woman. Shit, I can't believe I forgot her name. But anyway, so these are these three seniors. They live in a senior facility. They're in, England. It is the fanciest fucking senior facility I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot living in Florida. But Helen Mirren, thank you. Helen Mirren. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Zane. So they apparently had developed a murder club where they investigate murders, and they there was in the very very beginning of the episode you see some woman come flying out of a window, and this is the basis for what they are investigating, and you see them sort of weave their way in and out of the police investigation. They literally manipulated the police in order to be involved in the investigation. The investigation really was about um, the owners of this retirement facility and how they were systematically one by one being murdered. But somehow the body that you see in the very beginning of the story circles its way back around into the current story. And one of their neighbors is this former police officer who pretty much is in a coma, and her husband, every time you see him, he's sitting by her bedside, and she was a member of their murder club, and they would go in periodically to tell her about their updates and to talk to her and so forth and so on. And long story short, they ultimately discover who committed the murder of these men that wanted to buy the facility. But the real truth is the um the murder that takes place in the very very beginning of the of the show literally circles back to their friend who's in a coma in the bed, because that woman was killed by somebody she was dating, and she knew him to be a criminal, or either she was dating him or just knew who he was or whatever, and she had him murdered, and somehow all of this follows her years later to where she's in the facility, and her husband discovers that one of these men that was a part of owning this building or a part of the sale of the building was related to that situation, so he manipulates and is involved in the murder of these people on her behalf, just to make sure that it's never found out that she was a part of this murder years ago. And I'm like, I sat there going, wait, what? I just got lost. who did what and why? It was a lot of fun to watch, to be honest, because these seniors, very very sneaky, were figuring out that every time they figured out something else had to be figured out. And so it's one of those programs where you can't halfway watch it. You have to like be attentive
Be invested.
to what's going on, because you'll miss something. So I had to
Gotcha.
keep going back because I was watching it while I was working. So I kept going back because I'm like, wait, hold on a second. What I missed something. Something is not, I'm not following. But it was really very entertaining, and I think one of the things I liked most, Helen Mirren is sexy as fuck. Okay, this is a woman who is the epitome of what senior female actresses or senior actresses should be. She's in her full on maturity, and she is like the head of this little murder club. Um you find out she's former MI6. She's a total badass. She does They don't treat her character as some old frail rickety whatever. And there's another female, I don't know that woman's name, but she was cute as all get out. And she also wasn't they didn't have her be this frail grandma who, even though she loves to bake and would bake relentlessly, she was very smart, very quick-witted. And so she was really a great addition to this little murder club. So yeah, if you got some time, Thursday Murder Club on Netflix. It is well worth watching. And as it unfolds, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper into who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, how are they connected, and you know, it's very good. That's all. I don't know what else to say other than it was very good. I I watched it because of Helen Mirren, mainly because from the promo she was in her badass moment, and so yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Bum,
I'm gonna
bum,
go. I'll wrap up
bum.
one real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll do Alien Earth, and
Mm,
I'll give you guys a little summary of what happened. So
okay.
it says, they focus in this episode. They focus about like the Prodigy Corporation. So like what the corporation is trying to get out of, having the kids, be it from kids into synthetic bodies and adult bodies. Um, Wendy, so she's like one of the kids in the bodies, like one of the main, or like the main person in the show. She demonstrates the ability to communicate or connect with the xenomorphs, which is like pretty amazing. So in this episode, they have it where she can like talk to them and make the noise. So she ended up where like they start off the episode where she like can't hear, or like she can't focus or whatever. So like the boy genius, that's what they call him in the show. He's like, well, there it's like a day to reset or something. They gotta like restart her body to like fine tune her body, or fine tune herself, and make everything okay again. So they put her on the table. She's in this thing. Her brother comes in and is like, Wendy, oh my god. And then, so they end up figuring out what goes on, and she's okay, and they fine tune her. And then after they do this, she's got like that power where she can communicate with the xenomorphs. So it's really neat. It's interesting. It
Mm-hmm.
was pretty, I liked it. And then, so there's this other guy who was in the ship. It's like the guy who wants to take his stuff back. Like, I guess it's like his property or whatever, right? So there's this guy, and he's trying to talk like telepathically to like one of the kids. And he's like, trying to manipulate the kid. Like, you could totally see this. And I was like sitting there watching, eating my popcorn. I was like, what is going on here? So the guy, like, I knew what was happening, but I wanted to see how it played out. So the guy is there with the boy's mother and
Mm-hmm.
his family, okay? The kid doesn't know this right now. He's like out in Zen land. He's like telepathically communicating with this guy. The guy's like, I want to be your friend, friends help friends, right? And the guy's like, well, what do you mean? Like, so he's like, well, I'm going to tell you my name. My name is so and I can't remember. I
Right.
apologize. The guy's like, I can't, so and so. And then the guy's like, okay, well, my name is this. He's like, okay, and like, keep going. And the guy's like, well, I'm not telling you my full name. Like, my parents told me when I was young, you don't give people your government name. Like, you know. So the guy's like, well, you want to be friends with me, so tell me your name. So he ends up telling the other guy his name, and then he's like, well, guess what? I'm sitting with your mom right now. And then he was like, oh, my mom, like trying to speak with his mom and stuff, and he couldn't. briefly, the other guy did let him speak and like connect with his mom just for a brief moment, and that was it. And then he went back. He ended up saying that he was gonna end up helping the guy do like so. What he wanted the people to do was the aliens, like or the eggs or something. He wanted somebody to go in the room with that kid, and then the alien. It was like a parasite. So the parasite would go onto the other person, and then he would have to bring the other person to wherever that guy is to deliver the parasite. Pretty much, that's a wrap. You know what I mean? So, and then and then there's other stuff too. If you like shows like Alien, please make sure to watch it. I like it. I've been
like it
thoroughly binge watching and enjoying it. So
yeah,
I would
Yeah,
highly
me too.
recommend.
Yep, I would highly recommend too.
10 out of 10. She recommends. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes. Kari, before we go into our wrap up, I got a couple more things I just wanted to share from, well, one thing left to share that I wanted to share from ASN, and sorry for the white screen. Which was, so there we go.
She's flashbanging us,
Yeah.
folks.
So
just joking.
if you've ever been to my booth, this is Lorenzo, my partner, and Lorenzo was nominated for Best Magazine Cover. That's his magazine cover. And he actually won for Best Magazine Cover.
Yay! Congrats!
Yay! Congratulations, Lorenzo.
Yep.
Woo!
And I'm gonna, you can't see me, but I'm popping my collar because I took the photo of the magazine cover. Ha ha ha.
He looks very dapper, I
Yeah.
must say.
Yes.
And so this is my
Very,
last
very
thing
classy.
before I let Kari go back to being Kari. And if you've been on social, on Twitter, the Twitter, and Instagram, I made this announcement.
That looks so good, Casey. Damn, girl.
This is
Clock it. Clock
this,
it.
This is a very big thing for me. It's big in the sense that if you know me well, you know you don't see you as much of me as you see, you don't see me. But in this calendar, you will see me. That's, I don't know how to say it. You'll see me. So I'm very excited about it. And it kind of circles back to what we were talking about earlier about being a woman of a certain age. And I feel very good about who I am, where I am right now. And I just kind of wanted to project that out to other women who are of a certain age. And God, it was hard being a teenager and a young 20 something. It's hard again being like, I'm 56. Kari, you're how old now?
50.
50 even, right? It's
Yep,
hard
50
being
even.
50-ish in the spaces that we are 50-ish. But there's a lot of folks who look like us, who are our age and who are us. And I just want to fully on embrace that. So
empowerment.
Yeah. So I'm going to be promoting the hell out of this. I'm just telling you now. But anyway, okay, Kari, back to you and our stuff here.
Thank you. First of all, we'd love to say thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. And also thank you to those who've watched our prior episodes. You can find them on the YouTube channel at EXXXOTICA.tv. And in the future, on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can watch us again. And we would love it if you did so. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We love your comments. Tonight's question is, do you remember who Luke and Laura, or what show, movie, or streaming network Luke and Laura are from? And we'll see you next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But don't go just yet. There's more.
I turned off.
Oh, she figured out how to get rid of the dolphins.
Oh, no. It's not that I didn't know how. I just kept thinking I could turn the volume down, and it never worked.
Oh, got it.
Whoop,
Well,
whoop.
if those for those of you that don't know, we are a part of a wonderful family at Exotica or 3X Expos. And our next show is October 24th to the 26th in wonderful Edison, New Jersey. Also, December 5th to the 7th in my backyard, Washington, D.C. Go to EXXXOTICAtv to get your ticket information. There's Ladies Free Friday, so no excuses not to go. Get your tickets or sign up for your tickets on EXXXOTICAexpo.com. And if you're interested in becoming an exhibitor or a vendor, also go to the site and request a sales kit. But we look forward to seeing you at the show. And last but certainly not least, we would really love it if you followed us on social media, interact with us, and tell us what you're watching on your favorite streaming network, what shows, movies, or even YouTube stuff. We love hearing about it. So
Whatever's
follow
got
us
your
on social media
attention.
through our pink boxes.
And huge shout outs to our top fans tonight: Whitney Frias, Zany, Desirable Bottom, Jeffrey, Kay Handy, Christopher Gagliardi, and Jason Richmond.
Hey, we want to say thank you to everyone who's been in the chat, keeping it alive while we're talking about the things that we're watching. And we hope to hear about the things that you are watching or things that you suggest, or maybe something you want to watch and we should all just watch it together. But nonetheless, we've had a great time. We hope that you have too. And we'll see you next week, same
Wait,
time, same
wait,
back channel.
wait,
Oh,
no, hold on a second. Are
oh,
we not going
oh,
to answer that question? Are we just going to let it linger and see what happens?
we're going to let it linger
Oh,
and we
okay.
will answer it next week.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Who's going to take okay, we need someone in the chat right now to take responsibility for reminding us next week
Oh, I'm
about the
writing it down.
question.
I'm writing it
I
down.
will.
Okay, thank you, Desiree.
Yep.
But
I
now we're
wrote it down
done.
too.
We're not
Now we're
giving out
done.
the answer tonight. We need they're going to be people that watch it this week
Comment.
and hopefully
Please.
they'll tune
Please.
in. Maybe we can talk Jay into giving us a couple of free tickets to Exotica and somebody, a
Ooh.
lucky winner can get 2
Yeah.
tickets into Exotica, New Jersey or DC
Whichever
Comment.
suits
by
their
all you gotta
geographic
do is answer the
location.
question.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
All
get in
right.
those comments, y'all. Jump in
Yeah.
those comments,
Do
follow
it.
us on social media. We're out of here, y'all. See you
All
next
right,
week.
y'all. Peace
Back to you,
out.
Casey. Choo, 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 choo.